So we heard earlier about your first career as a teacher, then you were a stay-at-home mom for many years. Do you know how many years?
Well, from the time you were born, which was in 1962, until Susie went to college when I was 50, and then after a couple of years of this empty nest business, I thought, this is all there is, and so I thought I'd like to get a job, maybe a part-time job, and I kept looking in the Scarsdale Inquirer, and I thought, I don't have any skills, so but I can always I've done a lot of bookkeeping type stuff, and I can keep records. So I saw something for an administrative assistant, and I called, and Gil Kemp told me to come on over for an interview, and he lived 3 blocks away from where we lived in Scarsdale. And I was thrilled because when I got to his house, he was mowing his own lawn, and I thought that was a good start, because I was at that time mowing my own lawn, and most people had gardeners. So we talked, and he said he had a couple more people to interview, and he'd let me know. And the next day he called and offered me a job, and he said, I don't know what you'll do, but it won't be anything I don't do myself. And he started Home Decorators Collection in the spring of '91, and I worked for him, for Home Decorators, for 15 years. No, yeah, well, something like that. And I loved it. I learned a lot. I loved dealing with the vendors, and they got to be friends on the phone, and then I'd meet them at High Point and at conferences and things. And we had mostly really nice people that we worked with, and we were nice people. Gil was really nice to all the people we worked with. And so in the beginning, it was pretty much Gil and I knew what was going on, but as the company grew, he hired more people in St. Louis, where he'd gone into business with a friend from business school who had a catalog company. And it grew and grew and grew, and it was lots of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I got to travel. I went to St. Louis is where the company was headquartered, and I went there a few times a year, and I went to Las Vegas, which I didn't like at all, but I went there for...
Hard to imagine you not liking Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
It's warm there.
Yeah. Putting a quarter in the slot machine was about as far as I could go. And
some more exotic trips too, right?
well, I went to Atlanta, and that wasn't exotic. That wasn't exotic, but I'd never been there. I went to New Orleans, where I'd never been, and I went to Hong Kong and to China twice. That was interesting. That was fun. And it was really, I loved doing it. It was.
Did you ever go to South America?
Oh, I did. I forgot. Yes, I went down to Brazil, to Sao Bento del Sol. And
Were
they were
buying trips?
yeah, and yeah, they were buying trips.
So
I guess
what were your primary responsibilities once you got into it?
I started out just as an administrative
Right,
assistant, then I became an assistant buyer, and then I was called a buyer. But Gil was the buyer. I mean, I didn't make any major decisions that he didn't make. And then he let me do the smaller things, that weren't so important, but that was fun. We went to High Point twice a year, and to the furniture market there, and that was very
Where's High
good.
Point?
High Point, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Were you friends too?
And I had a friend in Pinehurst, so I'd spend the weekend with them, and we stayed, in the beginning we were there Monday through Friday, and then the next Monday and Tuesday, I think, but then we cut it back to just Monday through Friday. But it was stimulating, it was interesting, you saw lots of new product and talked to people and heard about what was going on. That was fun. So I worked until 2003, and then I was retired.